Thanks for staying with us right here on Sunrise as we continue this morning. Now, we dealing with, of course, dealing with finances. Now, dealing with your financial problems is already hard enough on its own. Now, talking about it as a whole other issue. Now, that's why it is no surprise that many people prefer to keep their financial status or lack of a secret from their partners. So we're talking financial infidelity. It can be just as damaging as any other deceit, and sometimes it is hard to recover from it. Now, joining us in studio to discuss this, we're joined by CFP professional, speaker, author, and entrepreneur, General Mwandi Ambira. And you can be part of our conversation by giving us a call on 011 447 1742 or 447 1620. Gerald, thanks very much for joining us. What exactly is financial infidelity?
Penny, financial infidelity is basically a scenario where you have a partnership or a spousal relationship where the partners are not fully disclosing their financial situation. This really means that you are not aware of what your spouse has in terms of assets or liabilities, and you live life ignoring this fact. Often in many relationships, many spouses have seen their partner's cell phone more times than they've seen their partner's bank statement. And that's how bad it is. We all know that most partners will try and hide the cell phone, but even more, how many have you seen? When was the last time you saw your spouse's bank statement?
Am I supposed to see my partner's bank statement?
Definitely, because from a legal point of view, if you're married in community of property, you are joined as a single entity financially. And even if you're not married in community of property, for example, ANC with accrual, when you divorce, your assets still come together. So as much as you can think that I don't need to fully disclose, at the point of dissolution of the relationship, often it's a financial matter that arises. And we need to start getting into the habit that when we are dating, we start vetting our potential spouse financially. Get that ITC check, do it. Find out what they have. It's all very well going to trips to Dubai and dinners, but if it's all on a credit card, you might end up paying for it the moment you say, I do.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, so let's talk about people who are prone to find themselves in this situation. I mean, some are saying, you know, a lot of men are keeping things from women. Some are saying women are like, why should I even bother to tell this person? Who is fooling who in this thing?
Everybody's fooling everyone, because the thing about it is a relationship is a true union, and you should be joined in every matter, including finances. You have wives who sometimes get gifts from friends, and you know, you get the friends with benefits. Sometimes I even saw a tweet the other day where the man is maintaining his family through his mom. But the wife has no clue that the mom is the real provider in the house. And then you wonder why when she comes in the house, she's trying to call the shots. Because Umtwana is calling home every 2 minutes, Mama, I need money. And we need to be more transparent in terms of our finances. Because ultimately, even if you look at marriage statistics and look at divorce, finance
is the biggest.
It's the root, even when it comes to infidelity itself. Sometimes it's because of lack. Sometimes it's because you're working too hard. You actually don't enjoy, so someone gets bored. But the root of most marriage problems is financial.
Or there's just too much money and there's no plan for it, for what we should do as a family, and then somebody feels that they can spend it on someone else.
That's it. And to me, infidelity is as simple as airtime. You know, you your pay-as-you-go contract and you top up your phone. Are you doing the same for your spouse? Does your spouse know you did it? You know, and it starts with the really small amounts. That's how you start to determine how big the problem can become. Because if you can keep a small amount away from your spouse, then the likelihood of you keeping large amounts is very high.
Okay, so what are some of the consequences of financial infidelity?
The first one is the real infidelity, where because of the financial infidelity, you start looking for another partner. So that's the first consequence. The second consequence is the impact it will have on your family. And that's when we start talking things like children. So, for example, with children, you can be not fully disclosing your financial status to your spouse and putting your children through schools you know you really can't afford. But because you've never sat down together to look at the family budget, you're getting deeper and deeper into a hole. So many households are floating Titanics. They're taking on water, and it's just a matter of time before it tips over and it sinks. So you get the real infidelity, there's the family consequences, and then there's the psychological consequences as well, because sometimes the financial infidelity is actually rooted to a psychological issue from your childhood childhood or how you grew up. So sometimes we don't even know why we do the things we do with the money. And often it affects the relationship. And I think the whole point of people being in relationships is because they want to be together. And it's important that we start wanting to be together financially as well.
Why is it so difficult to recover from it?
Because it's like any other kind of deceit. You lose trust. And once trust is gone, it's very difficult to recover. It doesn't matter whether it was a financial issue. The real core of the matter is that it's deceit. I heard on radio the other day a husband who constantly came home and declared that there was no income. Meanwhile, he was saving 15,000 rand a month for 15 years. And the wife found out by accident when she bumped into his bank statement. Meanwhile, she'd been the sole breadwinner effectively for all that time.
Wow. Gerald, we're going to have to leave it at that for a lot of people who are...